I lost my limb.
Biosecurity chemicals are counterfeit.
In 1 week, we lost 21,000 chicken.
Every single day, men and women head to shops and online platforms to purchase cosmetics. Let's face it, the real truth is because we want to look good. But then what happens when the same cosmetics we are buying every single day turn around and leave our skins messy and also leave us with various side effects? Are we in particular finding ourselves in a situation where we can identify the fake from actually the genuine ones? Now in this special program, Don't Be Fake, brought to you by the Anti-Counterfeit Network Africa, we dive deeper into the cosmetics world and find out what the side effects are, plus what the way forward could be. So many are sold on the market today, but not all of us know which ones are fake and which ones are genuine. I'm your host, Andrew Kabuura. I have a big panel, including regulators, to discuss the issue of cosmetics on the market. And I tell you what, that big panel is next. Thank you very much for joining us. This is the Don't Be Fake show, brought to you by the Anti-Counterfeit Network Africa. Once again, we talk everything to do with counterfeit every other week. Now, this is a very emotional topic for me specifically because as a TV presenter, I have a lot of powder on me before the show kicks off. I have some, it's not lipstick, this is lip gloss. No. When I step out of here, it's different. When people meet me, they say, "Are you the one who was on television?" Then I say, "Yes." They say, "But the other one didn't have any pimples." But that's the big story. We have to use a lot of cosmetics ourselves as TV presenters here on the show. So it's a very emotional topic for me. But also, the ladies and gentlemen out there who every day go out to buy something to beautify themselves should be watching the show tonight because there's a lot of counterfeit. So what we've done is bring a regulator on my left, also bring someone who is a specialist in an industry to do with skin. And of course, I'll start off with Mr. Fred Muwema, who is a practicing lawyer, but also Director Legal and Corporate Affairs at ACN, which is the Anti-Counterfeit Network Africa. Before I come to the rest of the panel, I want to start off with you. The Anti-Counterfeit Network Africa is here to try and fight counterfeit and throw more shade on counterfeit. Just give me a feel, Fred. How big is this fight and where have you reached with this fight?
Well, the issue of cosmetics, which includes skincare products, hair products and other products of the like, is a huge one for Uganda, for Africa in general. We have the youngest population in the world here in Africa, and in particular in Uganda. And now we live in the .com era, the Facebook era, the era of likes. A lady will take the best pic with a heavy amount of cosmetics and all this. Unfortunately, even small children now, you'll find them wearing lipstick and heavy makeup. It is something that is very, very central to the theme at the Anti-Counterfeit Network, which is to discourage, to prevent the use, the sale, the purchase, the consumption of fake products. And in cosmetics, we really have a big story there because there is an upsurge in demand on consumption of this product, especially by women. In Uganda, we have 1 million more women than men. There is a disparity. So you're having more and more people taking to cosmetics. Recently, you had the president warning women not to bleach, to accept their natural look and natural color. But this is a big interest area for the Anti-Counterfeit Network and definitely for everyone out there, because each single day you are using a cosmetic, be it a Vaseline, a lipstick, or that hair conditioner that you'd like to use. It's a big topic and everybody should pay attention.
All right, there you go. Next to Fred, we have Ms. Barbara Kamusiime, who is a Senior Public Relations Officer at UNBS, which of course is the Uganda National Bureau of Standards. And to my right is Dr. Malik, who is the Director, Unity Skin Clinic, a skin specialist. You really are the person who should be on this panel today. Before I go to the regulator, I want to kick off with you. As a doctor who's been in this industry for a long while, how much of a relationship is there between the cosmetics we are selling on the market today and your clients?
There's a very strong relationship. On average, I could say in a day I can say about 50 clients in total.
50?
50, but I could say roughly like 20 patients would come in a problem concerning what they were using before, which you'd find out is either it's a counterfeit or it was a bad product for their skin. Yes, so it's something that's quite common and quite rampant. Yeah.
I'll come back to that shortly, but Fred, did you hear that? 50 clients?
No, that's general skin in the clinic.
Yes, in the clinic.
Yeah,
I mean, 50 clients in the clinic and 20 have an issue to do with what they were applying on their skin. It's pretty much half.
Yeah, but that means it's a big problem.
Very big problem.
50. I wonder whether you see them at a stadium or something. It must be a big office.
No, they keep appointments.
Barbara, please allow me to call you Barbara for the rest of the show. You're the Senior Public Relations Officer at UNBS. But what I really want to ask is, as UNBS, you know about counterfeit. How big is a problem that is counterfeit from your side of the story?
From our side of the story, as Uganda National Bureau of Standards, I wouldn't want to talk about counterfeits. I'll talk about substandard products.
Okay.
But for any case, most counterfeits are substandard products. Yeah, but on the side of UNBS, we have what we call high-risk products. And among the high-risk products in UNBS, or the products we look at, are cosmetics. Cosmetics are one of our high-risk products, which means that they have a lot of impact, direct impact on human health. So that's why we put them under high-risk products. On the part of UNBS, I would say the problem is big, but I would also say it has substantially reduced from probably 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it was much higher than it is now.
Fred, before I cross over to the good doctor on my right, I've always wanted to ask, the problem that is counterfeit and its effects, everything together, is it more about weak laws or is it more about consumer behavior?
It's about weakness along the whole value and consumption chain. Weakness on the part of the consumer because, like I stated earlier, there is this craving to be liked, to look good, to look modern. I think we've taken on a Hollywood culture whereby you must look like Kardashian or whoever it is that they see in the TV. So that is driving us in droves to apply whatever cosmetic, irrespective of the quality, to look like Kardashian or to look like that superstar that you'd like to be. So that is the first challenge. There is a cultural disorientation that we are not good enough the way we were born. So you need there are some oral cosmetics. Some people swallow pills and they bleach. There are some politicians and some people I've seen. We went to school with them and now they are different color. You can't recognize them. They'll call you Obi and you can't. Because the person you started with was not white. Yes. And now they are white. But that's a disorientation, really, in the head. We are not content with the way we are. The other problem, of course, is the availability of quality product. I have a visitor from Kenya who mentioned last night that, oh, you know, when we are in Uganda, we don't buy any cosmetics here. We have to buy them from home because in Uganda, 11 out of every 10 cosmetics would be fake. That's not a very good indictment on our country, but that's what they have found because at one time that family bought some cosmetic and it actually scalded the skin of the person who bought it. So we do not have sufficient quality products, and even when they are there, people don't know where to find them. The big brands that are dealing with a lot of the quality products are not, they have few sell outlets and they are not doing enough to make sure they are ever present everywhere. But worse still, they are not doing enough to prevent the imitations. the imitations and the fakes of their product, because many of them are international brands and they would rather look at Uganda or Africa as a small market. So for them, if they sell 15 containers a month and they are able to sell it, they allow the fakes to sell also another 15. And so that's a big issue. But also in terms of the law is weak. The law is weak. We do not have a specific law on consumer protection. We have a consumer protection bill which has been sleeping, not with UNBS, but with Parliament.
Yeah, sure.
And despite the fact that Parliament is full of representatives of 40 million people who are all consumers, but this law has not been passed. Instead, we are hurrying to pass other laws on other things. But even in the absence of the consumer protection law, we also have another bill, the National Food and Drug Bill. I think there is a law trying to harmonize the regulation and ensure standards for cosmetics under drugs, because at the moment it's UNBS, which, as thin as it is the one that is struggling with the issue of cosmetics. So if we can have the National Food and Drug bills passed quickly, if we can have a specific law on consumer protection, if we can have strengthening of the Sale of Goods Act, because a cosmetic is also a good. We have a Sale of Goods Act, which is a general law. It has some protections there on warranties on goods that are sold. So I think it's a big problem, a big weakness everywhere. And since we are trying to have more and more people, the urban centers are growing. You can see Kampala now, I'm told it's going to stretch to Mukono, beyond Lugazi. So this is a big population. Most of the economy is here. It is a big challenge that involves everybody. At SCN, we cannot resolve this issue alone. The people on this table cannot resolve this issue alone. The people on this table need you who is viewing to also participate in fighting this menace.
Doc, I think we should first clear this. Some people say your skin will react because it's not compatible with what you're using. I don't know what that means. You probably can help me explain. But how many of these cases you've received, let's just pick a day, you think are related to counterfeit? How much information do you get from your patients?
Well, most times we ask them. This is the first thing we ask them. And the bit of dermatology, the specialty of medicine of skin is that when a patient walks in, I already know what has happened. There's some signs that we know that she's been using the wrong product, or this is what happened. So even before she starts telling you, already know that there's something wrong that she was using. So always, before anything, I tell them, what have you been using? When did you stop using it? How long have you been using it? Where did you get it from? So I always ask those questions. And they tell you the details of what they are using. So it's something that there are so many products on the market, so many things that are substandard or counterfeit that cause problems to them.
One of the questions I would really want to ask is, how come we have so many substandard products on our shelves today, and yet we have UNBS, which is supposed to curb the substandards?
Yes, we have the institution in place supposed to ensure that the market does not have substandard products, but we have our own challenges as an institution, but I wouldn't want to talk about the challenges so much. However, I can hint on them. Of course, we have staffing issues. We do not have enough staff to do what we are supposed to do. And then we also have a challenge of funding. The funds are not enough. But I would say the funding gap is narrowing. The money we used to get, I would say 10 years ago, is not the same money. We are now getting much more than what we used to get.
What's your budget now?
Our budget is about 20 billion.
That is too much money. Isn't that enough to remove all the fake cosmetics?
I wouldn't say it's enough.
There's
because
more.
You see, out of that, there is construction of the laboratories, which are not yet in place. We still have laboratories that are being constructed. Then we have, of course, recruitment, bringing more people on board. Currently, we are about 350 staff who are manning the whole country.
For 40 million.
For 40 million people. Yeah.
Andrew, the Uganda police budget is about 100, 200 billion. So you can talk to the police to probably
give you some of their money.
Yes.
All right, there you go. I think we shall jump deeper into this one. She is not comfortable talking about the budget at the Uganda National Bureau of Standards. Let's go for that break. When we come back later on, we are going to show you quite a very interesting story of someone who's consumed fake cosmetics. But also, I'll be asking the good doc here on what's the way, we should make sure we identify this. I mean, should we go for advice before we buy most of these cosmetics, or is it about where you buy them from? Plus, also, I'll be asking the council, the law. Again, how come the shops and beauty parlors that are selling these fake cosmetics are still up and operational? Do we have a weakness in the law in there, or are we just reluctant? Then, of course, I'll come down to UNBS and we shall talk about a way forward. Or also, we should be talking about that staffing issue probably more, if you're monitoring every part of the country to make sure these products either don't come in, or even from the local manufacturers, to make sure they don't go around the inspection and have them on the shelves. When we get back.
I lost my limb.
Biosecurity chemicals are counterfeit.
In 1 week, we lost 21,000 chicken.
Welcome back to Don't Be Fake as we continue talking counterfeit. This week we are focusing on cosmetics. So we all consume cosmetics in so many different ways, and they have adverse effects on us. Some of them, you might not even realize them immediately. They actually might go a long way before the effects finally come out. And then when the effects finally come out, it might already be too bad for you. Let me quickly turn to Miss Barbara again. Here's my problem. We don't manufacture most of these cosmetics here, but they still end up on the shelves. And I've asked you this before, and you've talked about staffing. But my point has always been, we even have cosmetics that should not be here. For example, just last year, we saw a ban on certain cosmetics that have lead and mercury in Nigeria and most of the West African countries. They still end up here. So we talk about staffing, but isn't there supposed to be a format of how all these cosmetics get into the country? How do they get here? Is there a problem with our border points? Or even with the understaffing, we are still relaxed?
I would say there is a problem with our border posts. UNBS does not have enough staff at our border posts, but I would say most of these substandard cosmetics are either smuggled into the country from mostly West Africa. Those are smuggled into Uganda, and you find that most of these smuggled cosmetics have hydroquinone and mercury. For any case, UNBS banned hydroquinone, products that contain hydroquinone and mercury, because they cause serious danger to human health. The doctor will comment on the dangers of using cosmetics that have mercury and hydroquinone. Yeah. But
what are some of those products, like brand names, which have, for viewers to know, which have hydroquinone and mercury and lead?
The list is quite big. There are about 180 products. And these, out of 180 products, we have the lotions, we have the lipstick, we have the hair products, name it, so many of them. But viewers can get this list from the UNBS website. We have all the cosmetics that were prohibited.
What's the website again?
www.unbs.go.ug.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doc, most people don't even know about the side effects.
Yes.
Someone gets up and says, I'm tired of my skin color, I want to start looking brown.
Yeah.
Okay? And then they tell them, this is what you're supposed to use. So, two questions in there. Do we know all about the side effects? What are the side effects? But more importantly, can we tell the consumers how to actually identify what is fake and what is not?
Yeah. Well, when we talk of the side effects of the counterfeit cosmetics, they're quite extensive. She talked of mercury, products that have mercury, lead, and hydroquinone. Definitely, those are products that were banned for a good reason. Although, of course, in dermatology, we still do use hydroquinone, but for medical purposes. For example, if someone has a skin disease that leaves a very dark patch in one area, we do prescribe hydroquinone, but that's a maximum concentration of 2 to 4%. Now, what happens downtown, or whenever they're making the fake cosmetics, they mix up to 20% hydroquinone. That is what actually is being used. Now, when someone uses such a, that is actually an abnormal concentration. That's when someone uses a cream and overnight, you know, they've changed their color. Now, what happens, those chemicals go in and inhibit your process of making your natural color tone, which is the melanin. And they stop the DNA, so they go to the core of your life. They go to the DNA in the skin, and they stop it from making the coding to have the melanin, the dark pigment. So what happens, you have to continue suppressing the DNA in your skin from making the melanin. Whenever you stop, the DNA will try to fight back. It will say, hey, this was my default. This is what I was created. I was supposed to make this amount of melanin, and I'll continue to do that.
Yes.
If someone continues overusing the hydroquinone, they actually get the opposite. They get total discoloration. They get permanent dark spots, dark patches. So you get someone who's having an even skin tone, then the skin starts to harden. Now, the cream is going deeper and deeper. The skin has so many layers. So the more you use it, the deeper it will go. Whenever it goes deeper, it starts becoming more permanent. So we actually get patients and we tell them the truth. You know what? You're just going to have to use makeup. Otherwise, we can't do anything about it. Your skin is damaged beyond repair.
But doctor, why is it that those who bleach, there are certain parts which don't bleach? The knees and the fingers?
Yes, those are problems they use because those areas are always thicker. The skin is thicker. So what they use can't penetrate. Secondly, you can never apply a cream uniformly, that it will go everywhere on the whole body. The other issue about the dangers of the cosmetics that you talked about, definitely mercury-lead, those are known carcinogens. They are known to cause cancer. So those ones are definitely no. So use things that are, whatever you use, if you want a good cosmetic, it must have a label, hydroquinone-free. It means that your manufacturer knows that hydroquinone is not good for you, and definitely they'll recommend something which is an alternative. And I always tell ladies, if you apply something and in a week or two, or a month, or 2 months, your color changes, definitely it's not good for you. I tell them, you know, if you want to bleach, you know you're signing a deal for a lifetime. Because when you run broke, when UNBS bans the products, people are going to ask you now, they'll remember the OB again. They'll be like, oh yeah, you're the guy now, you're dark again, you know? So those are dangers they have. The other issues that we have is thinning of the skin. The other major products, the other major chemical that they use that is wrong in cosmetics, they're steroids. We call them steroid creams. Steroid creams are basically it's medicine. We use it to treat conditions like someone has eczema, has an allergic skin, they use the steroids. Now what happens, they always put steroids in most cosmetics that are counterfeit. Reason being, when you put on a steroid on your skin will be fantastic within a day. So they give that wow effect. But remember, one, it is medication. Two, they're using it for the wrong reason. Now, what the steroids do, one, they are hormones. So the skin is the largest organ on the body, and its job is whatever is given to it, it will consume it. So when someone applies a big lotion that has a steroid in it, it goes in the body, it suppresses the body. The hormones, natural hormones are messed up with. So they have issues for women especially. So when you're having issues like fibroid issues, you're having issues messing with your ovaries, with fertility, because you're overusing the steroid creams. Two, they come in with a thinned skin. So they come in when you can see the blood vessels, literally. You know, on the face, you can see the green and the red. That means they've been using the steroids. Then also they get infections. They easily get infections because the steroids suppress the body's immunity. So they easily get infections. So she comes in with fungal infections, bacterial infections. Her skin is very sensitive. And then the other issue with counterfeit cosmetics is what to call a withdrawal symptom. Whenever you stop using it, you get a bad reaction. Your skin goes haywire. That is a sign that actually what you're using was wrong. You know, if something is genuine, if it is good, even if you take a whole month without using it, you'll still be okay. You'll still be at the level you are at.
But here's an interesting thing, Fred. I think we have she talks about a staffing problem. I think we have a general human resource problem in most of these departments. For example, how many skin doctors do we have in the country? Or clinics?
Very, very few. The skin specialists are very, very few.
Very, very few.
I would say right now in Mulago, I think the hospital, there's no training for specialists in skin, in dermatology in Mulago. We had one doctor who used to teach all of us when we were there, and he also retired. So actually right now the department is basically, empty. So
where were
it's
you
a big issue. I was trained from the UK.
Oh, okay.
But Mbara University also tried, but also I've not known of any graduates in the past 3 to 4 years. So basically, we're just, it could be less than 10. Yeah.
We have a proper staffing problem because minus having more doctors, she talks about staff controlling either the borders or arresting all these people or finding out where they are. Government has to take the lead here then.
No, it has to, but maybe I should ask my neighbor here. It is critical to have certain key specialized staff to fight fake cosmetics. Maybe how many dermatologists, specialists do you have in UNBS? How many lawyers do you have? Because all these are very important in getting the fakes off the market.
Currently, UNBS does not have any dermatologists. But for lawyers, we have 2 lawyers. For
Kampala or for?
That do the work.
For Uganda?
Yes, within UNBS.
How is that? That is actually a very big problem, and the appeal here to the minister in charge of UNBS, the government, the parliament. I think we cannot have a sensible, any meaningful fight against fake cosmetics or any other products. If we're having UNBS, which is understaffed, underfunded. UNBS has been in existence from 1983, but we are told the labs are only being built now. In 1983, didn't we have people in Uganda who are using cosmetics or being affected? I think we had them. So we should use this platform to advocate more for entities like UNBS to ensure that they can discharge their mandate, but that should not take away responsibility from UNBS, because those 2 lawyers that you have, can you tell us how many people have they prosecuted? How many have you reprimanded? How many cases of closure, for example, of manufacturers or outlets that are selling the fake cosmetics have done? Even those 2 should at least have some deliverables. Yes.
I'm going to ask her to answer that when we come back from the break, because my producer is saying we've got to wrap this one up now as fast as we can. Also, when we come back, we'll show you a horrible story of someone who's come face to face with counterfeit. You see, we talk about these things sometimes on television, and if someone is not consuming these cosmetics, they maybe don't understand how grave the problem is. So, yeah, when we come back, we shall show you that. And also, I'll ask the 2 gentlemen and lady to give us a way forward. Do not be fake.
I lost my limb.
Biosecurity chemicals are counterfeit.
In 1 week, we lost 21,000 chicken.
Welcome back. As we try to wrap this up, we are talking cosmetics and Don't Be Fake, as once again shed more light on the issue that is counterfeit. So many of those are being sold on the market today, and the big question is, the one you bought yesterday, the other day, or today, how genuine is it? Now let's first show you a quick story of a lady who's come face to face with counterfeit, so we can know what her reasoning was and what the side effects have come out to be. Take a look.
Akazigo kano nga kankola bulungi ino kano kolibona nagula akazigo kano kawaamu naira inagula ekikebe ekindi bwe nagula ekikebe ekindi banguza dupe no byengula nga origino banguza nga mutwamula n'enkumi 2 kati ono dipe banguza enkumi 5 kati nzaawo neyagala nti leero ninya kukakalu savings kumbe nga bijja kunfuukula ndowooza mbaziza n'emyaka 2 kuba kuva era bye nali nkozesa nabyesiiga byatandikanga ku era nekyo ekindi ekyalemerera mu ekyo bwe tubanga tubazeeyo butisaadi no nataamuku omutwalo nataamuku 5 buti ale ni guno omulala ebigwe n'akataano buti awo nga ndi kulwanisayo era omuntu okumbuuzaako ati Jaki nti muna watuuka nga beiti neri yetugulira ku bireke kuba bifu abakyala tulifuna endwaire ningi ino kusinziira mu bintu bingi ino nga buti ebizigo bye bali tuleetera nga dyuku ng'ate babireeta batukoba nti sente entono ojja okubyesiga nga bikufuukula ki buusu kale tusaba gavumenti yetwambe ku nsonga eyo yetulimu ng'abakyala kuba tulifuna endwaire ningi ino ku bintu bingi.
All right, welcome back. There you go. Fred, sometimes you want to look at these side effects and then sometimes you want to ask the person if they knew about what they were doing. But the issue is, do they actually know what is fake and what is not fake? They don't seem to know.
Yeah, they don't know, but now that we have a dermatologist here, I must confess, I've not visited one before, but I can take free consultation here. Doctor, if I want to do a makeover and change, remove the gray hair, how would you advise?
Well, anyone who wants, I always advise patients, well, it's your right to look good. You know, you're entitled to looking good because looking good gives you self-confidence. But you have to look good safely. So the main issue is safety comes first. Whatever you use must be safe.
Yeah.
If you get, for example, you know, when you talk of gray hair, you know, you want your hair to become black and you turn, you know, you look younger.
Yeah, I want to look 18.
Yeah, well, I would say there's no problem with that. As long as you're using the safe products. You know, if UNBS has approved something, that would help. That is natural, you know. That would, you just color your hair, you know, something that would just be temporary. It's not that you can wash out and it is safe, that would be okay. But the problem we get is getting something that is counterfeit. That's what you're talking about.
Yes.
So I have got a number of patients actually who have got very, very bad reactions using dyes, the dyes that they use to color the hair. They get really nasty reactions and they are very long lasting because the hair traps them in. You can't actually remove them in because remember dye sticks in and it's, you know, it's more or less, it's going to last for a long time. So when someone gets an allergic reaction and they put that in, you can't reverse it. Even if you treat them, it's going to take so many months before they can recover. By the time they recover, there are other things that come up.
So you're advising that I should stay?
Yes, that would be my advice to you, that, you know, you're making a choice to your patient, you're entitled to your choices, but you need to understand the risks versus the benefits.
But also tell Fred that you must not have black hair to look good.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Of course, I don't need to change my hair, but I'm doing this for the benefit of viewers out there who are dyeing their hair, and even those who are trying to use anti-age. Maybe you comment on anti-age creams. They are safe? They are okay?
It depends on what they are. Aging, what ages us is the sun. I always tell patients, just get something that protects you from excessive sun exposure because the sun breaks down the DNA, so it ages the skin faster. To keep your skin well moisturized, take plenty of water, you know, if you want to look younger. 3, don't use plenty of cosmetics because remember you're going to get hooked to them. Whenever you stop, you need them. By the time you're 30, you look 40. By the time you're 40, you look 50. So I always advise keep it as natural as possible.
But also as...
Andrew, I would like, you had given me a chance and I consulted for free. Please don't charge for the consultation. For me, on the way forward, I think we need more concerted effort to fight the fake cosmetics. On the part of UNBS, my request to the powers that be, please, let's not have political interference in the work of UNBS. We have some cases where a cosmetics manufacturer is closed and the next day they are opened because of, you know, some big person or whatever. And this is harming and endangering the public health. So we need an independent Bureau of Standards. And that independence is being interfered with by politicians especially. But on my takeaway on this, I think what we need to do more is this utilities court that was established. It's a good step, but it's mainly a court to deal with cases of stealing of power, stealing of water. I've seen in the law there, it was established last year that it can also deal with fake products.
Substandard, yeah.
This court is being housed in another court, in a magistrate's court at Buganda Road. This court is being manned by 3 magistrates. I'm not saying magistrates are incompetent, but the issue of fakes actually requires judges as well at all levels. So my appeal here is, can we have a dedicated court, if possible? I know it's a tall order, to deal with fakes. You don't mix fakes with the yaka and water bills. You will not have an effective solution provider, in my view. And then also, can we have the proper staffing and training? Because even with the judiciary and the other institutions, the issue of counterfeits and IP sometimes is not your common case that you'll be adjudicating. So I think more power to UNBS, more power to the regulators, more power to police, and more power to the consumer out there. Be on the lookout. Don't apply cosmetics. You need to, as much as possible, do very little of that.
If it
and
ain't
stay.
broken, don't fix it.
I'll come to the doctor for the final word, but let me start off with Ms. Barbara Kamusiime. So what's the way forward? We've heard about the few shortfalls, might be inside UNBS. You consume cosmetics as well. If it's not cosmetics, you consume so many other products that also could be counterfeit. What is the way forward for you?
My way forward is would like to appeal to the consumers that when they go out to the market or when they go in the market to buy any product, they need to look at, I would say, expiry dates of those products. They need to look at a product whether it has content. For the case of cosmetics, they usually put the contents within that product. So if you find that you are allergic to that content, you may refrain from buying it. So when you're out there, you go to the supermarket to buy any product, you need to look out for some of those things.
Yes.
Then lastly, you can also look out for a UNBS quality mark. Yeah, of course, a product which has a quality mark means that it has gone through all the procedures and all
But Barbara,
that.
there are many products without expiry dates. What should consumers do with those ones?
Stay away.
They
If
shouldn't.
there is no expiry date,
Just don't consume it.
Stay away.
It's not possible that a product has no expiry date. But let
Like
me.
for the case of products coming from Europe, you find that most of them don't have expiry dates. So we've
Put them aside.
Yeah.
Doc, I want to ask you something before your concluding remarks as we really end this. There was a big case in the USA that has been all over the internet about baby powder, to be more specific, Johnson's.
Yes.
And we have so many young mothers out there who are going every day to buy these.
even women apply powder.
Yeah, even women are applying powder. There was a part of a case where they're saying it was causing cancer. Damages were, the court
More
did
than
decide.
200
More than
200 million was given out.
California.
Yeah, so should we advise Ugandans who are watching the program now to think about Johnson's every time they're going to buy one?
Well, one, of course, being a doctor, I cannot recommend against Johnson's because, I mean, that may be a legal suit on my side.
yeah.
You can attest to that. Two, it's a case that is still ongoing. I would recommend, the jury is still out there on that because, Johnson's is appealing. And at the end of the day, some people say, if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Yes.
That's what I always say. If you don't need it,
Don't use it.
It's
But
that simple.
There's also there's a case that we've just been discussing during the breaks. It's not exactly cosmetics, but it's another consumable product. You're talking about the antiseptic soaps being banned.
Yes.
Where was this, in the UK or in Europe?
In the US. So
in the US.
Yes. So the US FDA has banned antiseptic soaps, the soaps that have the antibacterial soaps, basically. Yes, they've banned them. Reason being, they've not found any evidence that they confer benefit using them versus the regular soaps. Two, they also kill the normal good bacteria that you need for the body to understand them, because your body needs to build natural immunity.
Yes.
Right? Oh, there's this type of bacteria, let me build some immunity against it. So they've been banned as of, I think the ban started sometime mid last year. Yes, so
should watch out
but
for
still
those.
Europeans, other countries, they're still, they're
Okay.
still manufacturing.
Doc, finally, way forward, and I just want you to pretty much now tell the ladies and men out there who use cosmetics a lot, and it's more of how do we identify what is fake and what is genuine.
Yes. Well, the most important thing, actually, on the label, always look at the spellings. Always look at the spellings. I'm so keen on spellings.
Yes.
One letter missing, don't buy it. If one letter is missing, just know there's something wrong with that product. Two, like I've said, of the expiry dates, some fake manufacturers put weird expiry dates. Someone can put expiry 2025 or 26, something like 5 or 6 years away. Then
What
the
about
other
packaging?
Even the packaging also matters a lot, definitely. Now you're reading on the packaging to see whether how you can tell the product is good. For ladies, always I recommend, for every age group, the new recommendations for good cosmetics, they are always categorized. You know, a good cosmetic will tell you this is for oily skin.
Yes.
This is for dry skin. This has a sunscreen, and the sunscreen is of this factor. It is either SPF 15, SPF 25, SPF 30. That means the manufacturer is going all the way to actually make something that is good, genuine, and adequate for you. You know, if you know your skin, and the label will be there. This is for combination skin. Those are things that ladies will understand more. You know, all those things would at least give you clues that it's a good product. And then, of course, it must have a serial number, a serial code. You know, that is something very basic, but you can have, you know, you have a barcode scanner. It's easy to scan, and you know, the internet, it will take you directly to the manufacturer. You know, it has a QR code that will take you to the manufacturer's website, so you can be able to track the product that is actually a good product.
Okay. Doctor, are you advising Ugandans to bleach or not? Your word on that.
Well, I don't advise anyone to bleach.
Okay.
Yes, I wouldn't advise that.
Okay. I got Dr. Malik.
Yeah.
Dr. Malik, thank you very much. Where is the Unity Clinic?
It's on Akasha Mall.
On Akasha Mall.
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Malik. Thank you very much, Miss Barbara, as well, the Senior Public Relations Officer at UNBS. Such a pleasure. We hope everything gets better. You get more stuff, and you can check for what is fake probably more often. Mr. Fred Muwema, Director of Legal and Corporate Affairs at SN, thank you very much as well. The big issue is cosmetics. You know, we cannot discuss this within the time that we have for the show. This discussion has to go on, so join us on our social media. Let's continue this discussion. And also, if someone is going out to get some cosmetics, be of help. Ask them, are they getting exactly what they are looking out for? And in case you have the side effects, please quickly look out for the doctors and keep yourself safe. We are saying, do not be fake. Buy, sell genuine.